It's Tuesday here at Calon FM, and it's between 7:15 and 9:15, which means, obviously, one thing. You are listening to me, Wayne Price, who has the wake-up show, obviously, here on Calon FM. And with me now, I have Pete Rogers. Now, Pete Rogers is our Artist of the Week. Now, yesterday we talked about his poetry part of his life, but that's only just something which he does. I did say, as he put it, an IMDb version of his Internet Movie Database version of him, where he just basically, and one of the things he does talk about is he's a filmmaker. Now, it's slightly, I'm a film. Does that mean you are more a producer or a director, or what is it you would call you? Describe yourself, and actually, what do you do then as a filmmaker?
I like how that was so skeptical. What do you do? That's a question both my teachers and parents were asking me for years, and I still haven't got the best answer. In terms of the films, I had a really great college course at College Cambria, and one of the best things about it, if you are choosing to go there over the numerous colleges you could choose around sort of Wales, is that their BTEC course is very hands-on, and you do sort of every aspect of filmmaking.
Okay.
So I actually, in a non-big-headed way, would consider myself an all-rounder to an extent.
Yeah.
So I do whatever the jobs kind of demand of me. So, for instance, for local hip-hop groups, the Larynx and Spit Bucket, I've been making their music videos, and I've been primarily both the camera operator, director, and also then later on an editor for those videos usually.
Right, okay.
Whereas some films, such as Yellow in the Blue, which we're currently filming now throughout the next sort of 2-month period, and you'll be seeing that possibly end of December, hopefully, is by a local filmmaker called Rob McLean. So he wrote the script, and he's directing the film, whereas I'm producing that for him, which essentially means providing creative support, sort of rounding cast up, making sure props where they need to be, ensuring there's finance for the films, doing social marketing, media, things like that. So yeah, it's kind of whatever each project demands, really. I'm not a sort of one thing when it comes to that.
You're not a jack of all trades, because obviously you're quite good. But the idea is, yes, you just are able to. You're just heavily talented.
Some of the titles are slightly more ambiguous than others. I co-run a music series at Halesbourne and Bike Park near Tatton Hall called Java Jams, which essentially is we get artists from different genres. So if you could imagine that maybe we would get Ozzy Osbourne, Taylor Swift, and Tiny Temper in a room together. Okay. And we'd sort of get them to jam and come up with something unique.
I'm sure I would pass out if that actually had happened.
Yeah, they're our guests next week. So for that, I'm kind of a creative director, which is a somewhat weird term, but what that essentially means is that...
Sounds a bit pretentious, that.
That's because it is pretentious. Because what it essentially means is that we're controlling the aesthetic and making the choices in terms of who's got the right chemistry to work together and what kind of songs should they be singing and what's the right backdrop for it. So I co-run that with Tim Humphreys-Jones, who is the organizer and runner of VoiceBox, Dan Cookson, who's also a local filmmaker, very talented Dan Cookson Film on Facebook. You should check that out. Also, he's incredible at making music too, which he keeps really, really quiet. But go onto Dan Cookson's page, find his SoundCloud, and check out his, he makes instrumental beats and sort of piano music and hip-hop, and it's incredible. And then also that is with Steve Salter and Mark Hale of Hales, and we all sort of co-run that together. And we are nearly a year old now, actually. So we're working on a special year-old project that will be announced shortly. So just head over to Java Jam Sessions on Facebook, like it, and you'll see that year's kind of anniversary thing hopefully take form very soon.
Okay, fantastic. Now, you've chosen another track today. You've chosen 5 tracks.
Yes.
Again, it's a local.
Well, yeah, while we're on the subject of films, actually, so this is Cara Hammond, who's a local musician who was born in Wrexham, and we've known each other for many years, and she's gone on to do incredible things. Recently playing the Love Supreme Festival opposite Gregory Porter.
Headlining.
Yeah, it's just stunning. There's not really any other better words for that, really, or more appropriate words. And she recently released her new song, No, and it's kind of a Amy Winehouse jazz-inspired track, which is really fun to listen to. But it's also got a really great message in it because she wrote it for, I believe it was Women's Aid or Women's Hour, one of those two. We'll find out if you go onto Facebook. She's everywhere.
Okay. Facebook.
And yeah, Facebook, Cara Hammond, iTunes, Spotify, all the regular stuff. And so it's kind of about this idea of women sort of being treated as objects often when they go out to town or if they're at parties, whatever, and men sort of assuming they can make a move on them. Hence why it's called No. So it's based on a real experience she had in a club with her friends where they were just trying to dance and these men were making more of it than just dancing. And so it's kind of become like an almost like Beyonce anthem for women, which is quite cool. And amazingly, it reached number 2 in the pop breakthrough charts in Paris.
Oh, wow. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, because, Wrexham never produces any talent. Nothing's going on here.
No, never does.
I mean, who have you heard from Wrexham, right?
No, exactly.
Yeah. So that's currently doing amazing across like all platforms. Like I said, on Deezer, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, the usual suspects.
Okay.
And it's climbing up there. So it's No by Cara Hammond, great local artist, anthem for all of women. Go Sisters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Here it is.